The first bilingual podcast in Arkansas is based right here in the northwest corner of the state. District 3 is a podcast featuring conversations that our community needs to hear. Joining us now from District 3, the podcast, we've got Elena. Thanks for joining us. Great to see you.
Thank you.
You know, our audience should know that you made the trip from across the hall, really, because you also work here at KNWA.
Yes, thank you for your travels.
Yes, thank you for being here.
It took a while.
Well, tell us about the podcast.
Yeah, so our podcast focus on the community. We have some podcasts that are in Spanish, some that are in English, and some that are Spanglish that we like to say.
Okay. So, What kind of guests are you looking to interview? Who do you interview on the show?
Oh, wow. So we have a range of interviews. I mean, recently we've had a film director, we've had legacy makers in the community, we've had entrepreneurs, we have people in the Marshallese community, in church communities. I mean, it's based in Northwest Arkansas and Fort Smith, and you know, DJs, music makers, shakers, everything that you could think of, we have them there.
Those movers and shakers.
Awesome. Yes.
Do you have like one guest per episode, or do you have multiple guests?
Yeah.
How does that work out?
Most definitely. So we have anywhere between 1 to maybe 5.
Okay.
We've had bands. And sometimes we'll have like little features of them playing music or singing. So we recently did a live episode, and I'm just saying that because you guys pulled it up. But you know, we're trying to move to video platform. You know, so especially like we've had a couple people who work in the music industry, and we would love to like highlight them and just moving towards that video aspect. You know.
I think our next question has something to do with that. About how you kind of transition and how podcasts have kind of changed.
Yeah, they really
have.
have. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it is hard to see what to do sometimes, you know, but like Instagram Reels or TikToks, Facebook, you know, people want to see you or, you know, listen more than read. So we're just kind of making that transition. Hopefully we could do a live podcast soon, you know, invite some of our guests and viewers to come and just watch us live and hear us talk. You know, we're yappers, and it's interesting that people like to listen to us yap. So
yes, right. And you host with someone else, is that right?
Yes. So Irvin, he's been there forever. He started the podcast, and I actually was an intern back whenever he first started. And then we'll also have Miggs, who's a videographer. He does some stuff for the Walmart AMP, and so it'll be us 3. Sometimes there's 2 of us, sometimes there's 1 of us. So it just depends on the day.
Sure.
Yeah. So tell us what your favorite part of doing this podcast is.
Oh, wow. You know, I think just getting to meet people, and really, I mean, recently we had someone who literally has made it a legacy. And you don't get to meet people who have a legacy, you know, and it's just like those stories, those moments that you share. People open up and tell you so much about their life, and getting to be trusted with that is just impactful.
It's important.
So if somebody's interested in coming on your podcast, how do they go about doing that?
Yeah, follow us on Instagram and send us a message. Right now we're trying to transition more into topics rather than like an interview based, you know. Recently we had like a DJ group, so we asked them, can anyone become a DJ?
Right.
You know, that can be a little controversial sometimes because people think that they're just there with pre-recorded music, but you know, they talk about the process of DJing and how much money goes into that and stuff.
And what's the easiest way for folks to listen to the podcast?
Yes, so on our bio, we have a link tree where we are on YouTube, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, anywhere.
Yeah, you're out there on all the places you can listen. So go check out District 3 is the name of the podcast.
Yes.
Elena, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, exciting. We'll have to have you back.